You wanted the best. You've got the best podcast. The hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hey folks, it's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. Ladies and gentlemen, there are latest things that makes it official. Welcome to the show. We certainly appreciate you guys being here. As always, we have the smartest people on the show, the CEOs, the billionaires, the White House presidential advisors, the Pulitzer Prize winners, the people who come from all walks of life, who share their entrepreneurs and their cathartic journeys, their stories on how you can improve the quality of your life and make your life better. And as always, we just enjoy having them on the show. 16 years, over 2,200 episodes. Make sure you refer the show to your family, friends, or relatives, or I'll drive out to your house, knock on your door, and I'll offer you a big hug. And you don't want me to hug you because I smell awful. So refer people to the family, friends, and relatives to the show so I don't have to do that. It sounded better in my head when I wrote it. Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/says Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1, the TikTok, and all those crazy places on the internet, as they like to say. Today, we have an amazing young man on the show joining us, Kelvin Green. He has over 20 years of IT cybersecurity experience, ranging from supporting the Kentucky Health Benefits Exchange as infrastructure and operations lead, being the lead messaging engineer for behavioral health organization, designing a host-based security system architecture for the Navy Public Safety Network, solutions architect for DHS CDM TO2F. I know what that means. No, I don't. Fixing computers for SMBs in Honolulu, Hawaii, to being a game tester for a Tetris release. I'm a constant game tester for Call of Duty. Does that count? More importantly, he is a mental health, and I pay for it too. He is a mental health advocate who connects with his own struggles throughout life, understands user and entity behavior analytics, and how people and computers think. His people are thinking nowadays? When did that start? His goal is to use his knowledge and all of the ups and downs of his life, from his time in jail to his time at the Sumo Logic President's Club at the Four Seasons in Maui, to help others understand themselves, be more joyful, and more secure. Welcome to the show, Kelvin. How are you?
Thank you, Chris, and I'm doing good. So thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We certainly appreciate it. So give us your .coms. Where do you want people to find out more about you on the interwebs?
Yep, I'll give you the short link, csai.pro. So csai.pro. You can join me on LinkedIn.
And what's the name of your company? And give us a 30,000 overview of it and what you do there.
Yep, it's Cybersecurity. So essentially, I am a cybersecurity advisor. Hey, you have cybersecurity, and they tell you, hey, you need to get a firewall. You want to be secure. Firewalls necessarily don't make you secure. As a matter of fact, do you even know what the firewall does for you, or what an EDR or XDR does for you? And I help companies to understand by their own perspective what it does for them, what they need to get, why they want to get it, and how they can use it to achieve their goals.
Yeah. I need that in dating. I'm not sure what that all means, but so tell us about how you help people. What sort of clients are you looking for? What is the sort of work you're looking to do, and how can you help people?
Yep. So our primary focus is healthcare. With that being said, we do some work in the public sector. If you are state, local government, we help you there. We also help, SMBs in mid-market. Don't do much in the enterprise, but one day. With that being said, what we do is we basically connect with you. We analyze your current environment. So we say, hey, this is what you have. This is what it does. Tell us what you want to do. We'll help you figure that out. And then we'll help you to understand what you know today and how it can be applied to helping you achieve your goals in the future.
Ah, that sounds like a great deal. That really does. So let's see. How did you get into this business? We mentioned a few things in your journey of life. And how were you brought up, and what got you into the IT space?
Yep, I've been in IT or fixing something in my whole life, right? So that's just who I am. And how did I get here? Through life experiences. So like I said, hey, I lived in Hawaii. So being down there, you meet different people. I lived with a Japanese family. And so all their cultural customs were different from what I was used to. And so getting accustomed to that helped me to say, hey, people have a different perspective. And then I started doing more work for different SMBs and different organizations and different verticals. And I said, hey, how we see things the same words, the same terms, the same things differently. Why they mean something different. Like right now, if I said to you, hey, here's an expense report, it means one thing to you, but it means something different to an accountant, and it means something different to, let's say, a CRO, a chief revenue officer. They all have a different perspective on it. I started to understand that. I say, hey, you know what? We need this. We need this to protect ourselves, because as we're getting all these, new threats now, like all these different ransomwares and things that are coming out, we're saying, hey, how do we prevent these things? How do they get in? Because human beings are involved in most of this stuff. And I say, I don't think the people are really bad. They don't really have the intent to do it. You don't understand them, and they don't understand the system. But if you connect those dots, then you can protect yourself.
Wow.
Got on that journey.
Protect yourself from all the stuff that's going on. I know that, let's talk about AI. I know AI is causing a lot of craziness that's making a lot of the hacking and different attacks worse. I mean, it's taking it to a new level. What are some of your thoughts on that?
I personally say that human beings, we have a natural inclination to try to make things better for ourselves, and the other things that end up being the worst things for us, like the atomic bombs or all the nuclear weapons that we still are maintaining that we never shoot off. Okay, we don't. With that being said, AI is one of the things that we've been looking forward to. Be like, hey, make my life simple. Do everything for me. Great. You're teaching AI everything about you. And what happens when the bad guy gets it? They're going to use it, right? Why would they not? You going to go to sleep tonight? AI is not. And so when somebody has access to AI and they can say, I can attack you with it all day, every day, you should be alarmed. And that's what we're seeing now.
I'm alarmed by anybody who wants to attack me. I mean, I had Taco Bell last night, and I'm under attack right now. No, I'm just kidding. Don't eat that, folks. There goes our Taco Bell sponsor.
I'll say, Chris, we're going to keep you protected, and we got to keep you protected. And I will tell you that, yes, people will want to attack you because you are Chris Voss. So that's the reason for them to attack you, just because of that.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you're successful. I'm not. And I don't really think I'm successful. That's the funny part. So what are the main things you find most of your clients are struggling with when they come to you at first? They're like, hey, we need some help here. What's a popular thing that people are struggling with right now?
Yeah, so I notice a lot of purchasing of things because of buzzwords, or because, hey, they told me I need this, and it's not achieving the goals they want. Meaning they're like, oh, you need to get this firewall. It's the best firewall. You need to get this. And they're like writing checks, and then they're getting them, and they're like, this didn't give me everything I need. I'm like, well, did you set it up to do that? Did you ask? Was that a part of the goal? No, you just got something and it sounded good. And so I want to help organizations to, I like to say I'm a neutral party, meaning I don't sell anything. I'm here to help you. Meaning my goal is to make sure you save money and you get what you need to do what you need to do. Meaning, hey, if Chris says I want to be able to go on here and I want to be able to podcast, but I want to make sure my information is protected, I gather from everybody. I want to make sure that you're always able to get on here. Your microphone's always working, your video's always working, and you're able to connect with the people every day. That's your mission. And we want to make sure that cybersecurity enables that mission to happen.
Yeah. It's there's times where we come on and things don't work. Things have been mucked about. Our WordPress gets attacked relentlessly every day. I mean, we've been around for a long time. I mean, we've been around for 16 years. The YouTube channel's been around for 18 years.
There's no perfect answer.
They love to attack us. We're a favorite. I get like this report that shows how many hacking attempts we have around the world, and this is crazy, man. Like, some people need to go find a day job or something.
Hey, look, you want people overseas to watch you, and they do. And with that being said, that means you get the bad guys overseas too. So
yeah, it's just crazy, man. I'm just like, I'm really not that interesting, folks. And I don't have like millions of dollars. Why don't you go shake down Elon Musk or somebody that's, he can afford to get shaken down. I don't know. You get like $2 if you access my bank account, I think, or something.
That's what you're telling them, Chris, but they're not going to listen to you.
I can tell I'm lying already, I guess, which I am. But please, leave me alone. But yeah, it's crazy. And I think AI is just going to continue to grow and advance and make the attacks on infrastructure, computers, companies, people. I mean, we've had, like I said, we're not that special if you attack the Chris Voss Show website. It's not, I don't know what you're going to get from it. We keep backups and everything. So, you're going to, what's going to happen, eh? Like nothing. We'll just put it back up. But I mean, there's companies that they, there's money involved in their websites and money involved in their business things and what they're going to do. And, so I think the attacks are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse. And
yeah, I will say, Chris, that I give you credit for being one of the greats, because you understood, hey, I don't care if you tap my website. Why are you going to do it anyways? No point, because I'm backing everything. I'm prepared. You are a model citizen.
I learned the hard way. I got hacked a couple times. I learned the hard way. So I was like, fortunately, it wasn't anything. There was one that we almost didn't recover from. But yeah, back in the day, we got hacked a few times, usually through WordPress plugins, And, you don't keep those updated, or worse, you update them and throws the whole site into fucking a wreckage. Thankfully, they fixed a lot of that. But yeah, I've taken some arrows. So I try and learn what I get.
Let me throw one at you, Chris. Right now, if you had to go to the hospital next week, let's say you had to get a surgery done, and your doctor was gearing up, this is life or death matter. It's really important to you. And you walk in there, and the doctor comes, you get in there, you get, in your little robe, you're naked on the bed, you're ready. You're like, they're going to do this, and it's going to help me so much. And the doctor walks in the room, and he's looking at you, and he's like, I got bad news. And you're like, am I going to die? And he's like, no, we got hacked, so we can't perform the surgery today. Ransomware.
Yeah.
What's you going to do?
And they're trying to save me from cancer or something that's about to kill me, and or worse, I'm bleeding out on the table. We used to own a courier company that handled blood stats for hospitals and blood testing, and yeah, there's times where people are bleeding out on the table, and they don't have time for the computers to be shut down.
Bingo. And so this is leverage to, and that's why I focus on healthcare, because this is leverage to the people who are attacking you. Because not only do I have your data and you don't want it to get out, but now I got your critical services hostage, and so I put this cap, if you will, on what you can do right now. And your time, especially when you're in healthcare, is really, really important. I mean, really, really important, right? And, it's something that I really myself feel as a person who, I have to go to the doctor and get things done. I definitely don't want to ever go in there and they say, hey, you know what? We lost your information because we got hacked and we can't help you. Have a good day. Whoa.
Have a good day. Have fun. That's just a flesh wound. Just put a Band-Aid on it, rub some, Sporum on it. It'll be fine. Probably. I don't know. Maybe.
You won't get your server back up with that.
Yeah. Welcome to American healthcare. I think that's what they tell you, even if they do have their computers running these days. I don't know.
All right. Look, Chris, we're going to have a show just on that topic, because I got to think,
That's a whole other show, folks. What else have we discussed that we want to tease out to people? What sort of services do you offer that they can onboard with, et cetera, et cetera?
First, I want to explain the concept, and that is PPP. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
I'm 57. I'm very familiar at night with the PPP.
In psychology, there's something called schema theory. And I'm not going to explain all that, but you might want to look that up at some point in time. But PPP is basically how you take your perception. So what you see, what you hear, smell, taste, feel. And you say, hey, this is how I bring information in. And all day, every day, since the day you were born, you were bringing information in with that. And then led to you perceiving things. If you were born and you were at the hospital and say your dad was there and he smiled at you, it's going to make you feel good. You're going to say, ooh, warm inside. Mm-hmm. If you don't, might not get the same feeling. But with that being said, you're going to start getting all that information to your life. Every person you talk to, everything is how you perceive things. Mm-hmm. And you're going to start making perspective on these things. Maybe you're going to say, hey, if it's dark at night and I see a cat walk in front of me, maybe I'm scared. Maybe if a dog is barking at night, I might want to run. And this is all based on experiences in the past. Maybe a dog was big and it chased you at night. So whenever you hear a dog bark at night, you start wanting to run. Or if you see a mouse, you jump up and run. You don't know. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'4". But if there's a rat in the ground, I might just run. You don't know. I'm not telling you, but you don't know how I perceive things. Maybe you do now. But with that being said, you take all those things together and you get to your perspective. And so what I want to do is I connect with the businesses to help them to understand how the perspective of the people in the organization help. I give you a great example, and I'll use one on myself first. I'll say, so I told you that I was proud of myself for how I, celebrated at the Four Seasons doing President's Club, and it was wonderful. And I remember checking in, it was so lovely. Oh man, it's free, so it's the best, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, check-in is great. But I can tell you on the flip side, I once had to check out and check in to jail. And boy, let me tell you, you don't feel as pleasant when you check in to jail. You don't go in, oh man, I'm so happy to be here. No, it's not a pleasant experience. None of it was pleasant. But when you check out, trust me, you may not feel the best in the world, but for that moment, you're going to feel a little bit of joy just because you know you're going back outside. And that's a good thing. But what I wanted to show in that is perspective. In one case, checking in, wonderful at the Four Seasons. In jail, no. But checking out the Four Seasons, oh, that sucks. Who wants to go home when you're getting free stuff? I mean, they're giving you free food. They're treating you like a king.
Oh, yeah.
And you want to check out of jail because let me tell you, you hear lots of stories and you see TV shows and they tell you jail is wonderful. Let me tell you, I will tell you, it's nothing good in there. It's a bunch of dirty people and they're not nice people. You don't want to be there. Don't go there. All the children, don't go there.
Yeah. Sounds like my first 10 marriages. Getting out of jail was like basically getting divorced. That's free.
Yeah.
It's a callback joke.
I'm not talking about that. I got a wife.
That's your problem, isn't it?
No.
I'm sure she's lovely.
Yeah.
We do a lot of marriage jokes.
I love my wife. She's a wonderful person. She's actually a cybersecurity nerd like me, and she works with me. So,
is she holding a gun right off camera? Is that what's going on? No, I'm just teasing. I tease my married folks. I'm a single guy. That's kind of the running joke of the show. So there you go.
I will say this. You know, you learn more in life with every experience. So being single has an experience that you learn from, and being married has an experience that you learn from. So both are good. As all in what you do with it. So I'll say that way. With that being said, just to lead on to what you were saying, think about this. What if I told you that right now, all of your information is being fed into AI, meaning when you post videos, when you send email out, when you go to the grocery store, and it's learning everything about you, it's building a profile, a persona, if you will, about you. And that you need to be prepared for somebody to hack you using all the information that you posted on podcasts, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, the food you bought out the grocery store, everything you did will be a part of a persona they can use against you or use to address others as you.
Yeah. I don't want them to find out about that midgets and Shetland pony OnlyFans channel I always want. Why Shetland ponies? I don't know. They're cute. It just seems like the perfect joke. I don't know why I've used that joke for 20 years.
I will say things like that. I will say to the youth, be careful what you put on those sites.
That's all you're doing. Stop sharing those dick pics. People, it's funny how people just don't realize how much their mobile imprint is being broadcast to so many places. I mean, maybe you want to talk about that a little bit, about how people really need to realize with their phones and some of the input they're putting into websites, their privacy is really it's kind of an illusion.
So I'll give you a scary one on that one. I went a long time ago, back in 2000, I guess it was. I went to Hawaii, went to Maui. 2001. Went to Maui, and I was with my girlfriend and Molly at the time, and we went over to
Does your wife know about this? Sorry, I had to do that joke.
She wasn't my wife yet.
I did that joke because you were married. It's right there.
And we went over to another young lady's house I had never met this young lady in person, but I did talk to her online. So I didn't know her back in 2000. And I had a picture online. She had actually printed my picture and put it on her wall. So when I went to her house to visit her, remember, I never met her before in my life. I saw a picture of myself on her wall.
Was this above her bed, or was this at the refrigerator, or was
in
this
her bedroom?
In her bank account book, maybe checking out book?
You don't. So you ever heard of paralysis in the moment? Yeah, you kind of go like, really? Yeah. I will say that would mean that I put out a picture that I couldn't control where it went.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Was it on her vision board then, or? For
I hope not. Need, look, hey, Chris, I'm trying. Look, my goal is to stay safe. Don't let me go hide in the corner, Chris.
Okay, I'm sorry. We're not here to wreck marriages on the show.
No, I mean I mean, I'm pretty sure that she, for some reason, felt that I was worth joining her collection of pictures on her wall.
Wait, she had a collection now? How many other guys were up on this wall?
There were. It wasn't just me, but I will say that in the mix of it, there were some, famous guys. So I was like, yay, I got on the wall. To a part of me said that. Part of me was scared as hell, and I wanted to get the hell out of there and go hide in the corner because I was scared.
I'd be worried. I saw that movie The Jerk where he, randomly picks the names out of the phone book and then goes and shoots them. That might have been her target.
Yeah.
Board.
I will say that I've met young ladies. So again, nothing bad. I didn't do anything, but I met young ladies who had instances where they posted content or email out content to somebody or texted it to them, and then somebody else would post it, and they would find out later on that a whole bunch of people saw their private moments that they were sharing, and they were unaware that was happening. Yeah, that's what happens with the internet.
That happened to one of my gal pal during COVID. We were all in this big Clubhouse app that people would talk to each other. Everyone was kind of hanging out because it was the thing to do when you didn't have anything to do. And so one of my gal pals, she's a beautiful looking woman. She is almost a spitting image of, who's that famous singer who OD'd and died recently? She kind of had that great blues voice. But Wood something? Anyway, but she got into some really bad, I think, heroin and drugs and stuff. But it wasn't Whitney Houston. It was somebody really recent. So anyway, spitting image of her, just a beautiful woman, but she's married and she has children and she's middle-aged. And one of the guys, it's kind of started to become a real orbiter around her. And she did a video call with him one time and found that as she was talking to him, she could see in the background that her pictures, he'd created a collage of her pictures on his, what is the background of your computer there? Hey, the stuff. And she was like horrified because she realized he was like stalking her, basically. Another example where you can't control your pictures sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it's we give out all this information, and that's a big thing with the AI that where people are giving out. We're answering questions to AI solutions. We're training them. We're giving all that information. We're telling them our behavior, and to tie it in, that's actually what user and entity behavior analytics is about. Where it's taking the profile of a person. Hey, let's take Sarah, and Sarah's let's say an accountant. She's a good accountant. She does her job, and she's pretty consistent. Whenever she goes on break, she does whatever she says she does. So you can trust it reliably. So if, say, her system logged in and said she was in France, you'd be like, red flag, because she said she was sick and she's at home. But take another employee, let's say Bob, and Bob's a sales guy. You know how the sales guy get.
It's always Bob.
And Bob, when he goes off on vacation on break or say he's off, he does different things from whatever he said. He might say, I'm sick and I'm going to be home. But Bob, he tends to travel. Let's say they expect Bob to travel. Bob account logs in on a Friday from Florida. You're like, hey, Bob lives in Arkansas. What is he doing in Florida? Bob was rolling. And Bob said, hey, he didn't know. He was over there just doing what he's doing. But when you call him, he's like, oh, yeah, we're good. We're good to keep things a secret that, he doesn't want to tell you that he's doing something he shouldn't be doing.
Oh, it's always.
Well, guess what? Bob account got compromised. And the only way you could have known that is if you knew how Bob behaved and you entered into that system. So if you would have had it into the system that Bob, whenever he is gone, that you can't trust that he's reliably going to do what he says he's going to do, you would know immediately as soon as you saw something suspicious to say, hey, let me close down this account and contact Bob and make him validate this activity before I open it back up. But you can only know that is if you told that to the system. And if you recorded that information in the system, you'd have it. And so that's what user entity behavior analytics does. It's taking all the behavior of Bob and of Sue and everybody else in the company and recording and saying, hey, now we understand what they do. So when AI attempts to attack and find that loophole, that weakness, you can block it.
Love it, man. Love it. That's what we need to do is have more of that. What else have we teased out? What sort of, do companies need to be a certain size to work with you? They have in a certain income range or net worth, is there any requirements you have that way?
Yep. So ideally you have 100 employees or higher. I do go down as low as 50, but 100 employees or higher. I generally stay in between the 100 to 1,000 range. Again, I will get to enterprise one day. But right now I stay into the 100 to 1,000 range. Essentially, if you are in that range and you do not know what you need to do to be secure, what I mean by that, it doesn't matter where you are in the journey. I meet you where you are and get you to where you want to be. And even if you don't know where that is, I help you figure out where you want to be. And so essentially that is the market. So I want you to come to me. Again, I don't cost anything. My goal is to connect you with the services that you need and help you to save money. Meaning, if I can get you more bang for your buck, even if it was the same number, but you get more, I did my job.
Nice. And is there an amount of budget or spend that they need to have? Maybe. I know that can vary. Probably.
Oh, you spend what you want to spend. This is what I will tell people. If you get hacked and you said you got hacked, and you spend money that day, and
you're gonna spend money on ransomware for sure. Usually, you may not get your shit back either.
And in a lot of industries, time down equals money. So you gotta. Yeah. I help organizations do is I say, hey, look, you don't want to be down. You don't want to have the noise out there, the bad press. You don't want to take all the risks. So you might want to spend the money up front. So how can you make the determination? Look at the market. Most hacks, things for mid-market organizations, especially healthcare, you spend it in the millions, a couple million per hack. You should be ready to spend a couple million to protect yourself from spending a couple million on nothing. Because when you get hacked, you just give the money away and then you still spend the money to be secure anyway. So
that's true.
Come after you got hacked or come before, your choice.
You bring up two important points. Number one, it's not a matter of if you're going to get hacked anymore. It's a matter of when.
Bingo. I get hacked. Everybody gets hacked. There's nothing you can. I hear people always go, "Oh my, they got my Social Security." I'm like, they've been had your Social Security number for 10 years, and you just didn't know because they didn't want to do anything with you. But believe you me, it's been out there, and that's documented. So I tell people what you're really worried about when it comes to hacking is keeping what you have now private. That's your goal. So I consider it probably like you don't want to tell people you got secrets, you got private things, you got a private life. Whether it was for your organization or for yourself, you want to keep those things secret, right? Cybersecurity is what helps you do. You're putting everything on your computer. You're using it for every transaction in your life. So you might want to make sure you're secure there, same way you would do anything else. Think about it as your lock safe.
They're lock safe. You definitely want to have that. The other thing you kind of alluded to too is the other aspect of oh crap. I think I brain farted on what the second point was. But the first point, let me see if I can jiggle it here. The first point was it's not a matter of when you get hacked and how you get hacked. Oh, I remember now. You've referred to this a couple times. The loss of reputation of when you get hacked on your client base and the public, seeing, oh, you were a dumb company that didn't put up the barriers to protect my data. And that's embarrassing as well, right?
Yeah, I will say this. Think about this one. If right now somebody told you, "Hey, we got hacked and we lost everybody's money," it was a bank. I said we got hacked, we lost everybody's money. Would you bank with that bank?
No, hell no.
No. So the value of keeping things safe is right there because the damage that it does to your reputation. Now, hey, Kelvin, you said we can get hacked. Let me tell you, you can also use getting hacked as a great story. Let's say you do get hacked, but you have resiliency. You have cybersecurity tools in place. So you can say we can proactively block it. We stop the most damaging process. We caught it early. We have a fast path to recover. Even if it happened, inevitable, at least you got back up quick. And that's going to show people, they're going to say, hey, you're doing your best. But if you say, oh, we didn't know anything, nobody had eyes on it because, we had these tools and we got Bob and, Bob, he was supposed to be watching and he didn't. And oops.
It's always Bob.
It's reputation damage is a big thing to any organization. And again, definitely in healthcare, because I'm going to explicitly say this. You do not want your doctor to come to you and say, I lost your private health information.
Yeah. That's always bad. And because somebody else has it that probably shouldn't have it. Plus I don't want people finding about that midget's OnlyFans channel. I'm actually running it. I'm actually on the show.
Chris, are we going to have a conversation about you and your No.
I've always used that midget and shit like funny porn joke for 20 years. Now I can just add OnlyFans to it. OnlyFans, the joke that keeps paying. The joke reference that keeps paying on all the callback jokes. So, Kelvin, this has been very insightful. Give people a final pitch out, how they can onboard with you, how they can reach out to you, find out they're a fit, and get to know more about you, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. So the best thing you can do is go to my website at csai.pro. You can add me on LinkedIn, Kelvin Green on there. You'll get my contact information. If Chris is okay with it, you can send out my contact information. But basically, come there. Again, plan to be wherever you are. Do not feel like you have to know all the cybersecurity terms or come and talk to me about this or that. I'm going to make it as simple. You know, I'll give you an example right now of how simple I can make it for you. Chris, are you familiar with threat intel?
Threat intel?
Yep.
No.
Okay, let me give you a quick explanation. You familiar with Jack and Jill? The story of Jack and Jill.
Oh yeah, went up the hill.
All right. Let's say my man Jack, he's going up the hill. I'm going to get some water. He got his paddle. I'm going to get this water. It's a good day for Jack. Jack walks up and he trips. Big rock.
Huh?
When Jack trips, falls back down. Jack got shot. Nothing you can do, right? Jack is hit. Jack is down. But what if Jack told Jill and Jill told everybody else, hey, it's a rock there. Be careful when you go up that hill, because when you get to 70% of the way up that hill, there's a rock. How many people who got the information that go up that hill are going to be safe to go get their water because Jack got hit? Sorry, Jack. It happens. But your loss is our gain. And so sharing that information, now that's threat intel, because you know about that threat. You know to watch out for that rock. Yeah, nobody's going.
Yeah. I always step over Jack as I go up the hill. So sorry, buddy. Thanks for taking one of the team. I'm sure somebody will come back for the body. Are you sure that Jack just didn't go up the hill with Jill, and then Jill married him and then divorced him for having his money, and he died of...
I will say, if Jack went up that hill with Jill, there is a large chance that Jill was the reason that he tripped. But I didn't want to say that. But
maybe Jill tripped him, eh? She had a life insurance policy on Jack. We do a lot of comedy on the show, folks.
I'm just going to put a disclaimer. Wife, Chris said that, not me. So
yeah. It's we don't want to cause any divorce. Yeah, this Jack and Jill bit is reminding me of comedian Andrew Dice Clay. So we'll leave those jokes off the show now. Jack and Jill went up the hill. Oh, bada bing. Anyway, thank you, Kelvin, for coming on the show. Give us your .coms one last time as we go out.
Yep, that's csai.pro. Again, csai.pro.
And there'll be a link for it on the Chris Voss Show. You can find it there if you want. Thanks to my eyes for tuning in. Thanks to Kelvin for coming on the show. It's been a fun show. We always love good energy and funny shows. People learn more with entertainment. We call it entertainment. Infotainment is what we call it. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity, and damn it, all the other places on the world that are Chris Voss, at least the original one. Thanks for tuning in. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time. That should have us out, Kelvin.